It's been a long day, and it's about time to hop on for a gaming session on your gaming computer. I mean, doesn't this look so cool? You can change the colors to whatever you want. But 10 minutes ago, this is what we were working with. Please handle with care. Fragile. Thank you. I don't think they actually listened to the label, so let's go ahead and open this thing up and see if it actually even works. This thing has probably been thrown like a dozen times. What kind of bubble wrap doesn't pop? This is like a scam right here. This is the Optiplex 3020 small form factor, and this one has a 4th gen i5 inside, which I would recommend as the minimum you should consider. And when you're searching for one of these, make sure it has at least 8 GB of RAM, and this should come out to about $50 USD, which is a pretty good deal. But let's go ahead and open this thing up and see what we're working with. If I could just get this open, that would be great. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this thing in so we can see if it even actually turns on, which I mean it should. Fans are spinning, which is a good sign. And boom, yeah, we got the Dell logo on here, so I guess we're good.
2,000 years later.
Okay, we're stuck on the Dell logo, but hopefully you don't have this problem. I have actually never encountered this issue when purchasing one of these, so I did add a hard drive to see if maybe that would work, but it still is not booting into BIOS or anything. So I'm gonna go ahead and take out the CMOS battery and see if this helps. What this does is reset the BIOS for those of you who don't know, which I mean, sometimes this can just fix things. But in this case, it actually didn't really fix anything. So I had my cat Luna come inspect it, and she told me that it was actually the RAM that was not seated correctly. So when I try and boot it without one stick, it's perfectly fine. So now that it boots us into Windows and we know it works perfectly fine, we can go ahead and start taking everything out and unplugging everything. And now that everything is finally unplugged from the motherboard, we can go ahead and start unscrewing it from the case. And next up is the CPU cooler, which I would recommend you get a new one, because when you order a new one, it actually comes with thermal paste, and obviously it will look and perform better than the stock one. You're gonna need some new thermal paste, and you're gonna want to give it a good wipe down, because look at this dust. This is crazy. Go ahead and give it a good wipe down, but whatever you do, do not apply too much pressure on it. You can even use a drop of rubbing alcohol if you have some, and it'll be perfectly fine. But right now, I'm gonna push this to the side and make space for our case. The ARGBQ5W, that's a long name. But this case is pretty good looking. I've never used this one, but it looks beautiful. It has 2 pre-installed fans in the front, 1 pre-installed fan in the back, and space for 2 more top-mounted fans if you want to add some. And as you can see here, the motherboard screw holes actually align perfectly with the standoffs on the case, so this is going to work great. It's a lot easier if you place the case down on its side, and then you can go ahead and gently place the motherboard inside the case. From here, it's pretty much like building any other PC, but it's gonna get a little complicated in a bit. Go ahead and line up the motherboard screw holes with the standoffs, and then you can just go ahead and screw it in. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go ahead and screw the rest of them in. One right here, one right here, one right here. You get the point. And already this thing is looking so much better than it was before. This case is beautiful, and it's gonna look a lot better when these fans light up. This fan is so dusty. Like, actually, what the hell is this? The last thing we have to take out is this power supply. It's just a couple of screws on the back. This power supply won't go into the case, it's too long. So what we're gonna have to do to make it fit is take this hard drive bay out. Luckily, it's super easy, just a couple of screws in most cases, but now it'll fit. And now there's another problem. I think I'm gonna cut out a piece of this hard drive bay and put it into the case so there won't be so much empty space here. I don't know. I already know I'm gonna get hate for this, but what I did was cut out a piece of cardboard and I'm gonna go ahead and paint it. I don't know, I mean, at least there's no empty space here, so it's better than nothing, right? Obviously, you can do the same thing with like an acrylic panel or just get a new power supply, but... So back to the fan issue. I top mounted it here, but is it good? I mean, I'm probably just gonna hide it in the power supply shroud, honestly. So it's the next day, and guess what happened? So first, I had to take these fans out because they just didn't work for whatever reason. The RGB controller back here is perfectly fine. It's just for whatever reason, those fans don't work. So I had to order some new ones, and I'm waiting for them to come in. Not only that, I'm gonna end up just taking this out. Honestly, it does not look that bad. Like, it could be way worse. It's not that bad, but I'm still gonna go ahead and replace it with this power supply that I had playing around. But don't get me wrong, I mean, this is actually a pretty viable option if you don't want to spend money on a new power supply. It looks pretty good if you actually think about it. I mean, it's better than the empty space. New power supply is in, and I do think it looks a lot better, although I wish it was white or black, but no one actually looks at the back of their PC. And since we did end up switching out our power supply, we had to order this adapter because most power supplies have 24-pin connectors. So with this adapter, all you've got to do is snap it on and use it like you would with any other power supply. And for our graphics card, we've got a GTX 1050 Ti, and this thing is beautiful. Without an upgraded power supply, make sure the graphics card you choose doesn't require any external power. I didn't know this one would, but this is the For the Win edition, so I'm gonna have to connect some external power to this. And if you didn't upgrade your power supply, you're gonna need to use an adapter like this, which converts SATA to 6-pin power. And if you do a little research, you'll find that these things are actually perfectly safe. So like, before anybody actually does this, I just wanted to say, make sure whatever graphics card you use is low wattage, like below 75 watts, because I don't want someone to use like a 4090 or something and then their house burns down. I'm not responsible for that, but you should be good, realistically speaking. You'll be fine. I'm gonna be replacing this CPU cooler, so let me unplug it because I want this thing to look super cool, and this just won't cut it. But for whatever reason, this thing uses some sort of 5-pin fan connector, and that's not really standard with CPU coolers. They use 4-pin connectors like this one. So you guessed it, we're gonna need another adapter. Links below for everything if you decide to do this for yourself. If you are a complete noob, you need to remember, please take this thing off of your CPU cooler or it's gonna affect your temps really bad. And with a little bit of magic, this is where we're at. I can't believe I didn't even show it, but don't forget to put your thermal paste on. This already looks super good, but I don't have any case fans on here, so I'm gonna go ahead and install this 3-pack that I picked up on Amazon. And you guys are not supposed to see this mess here. That's what the plant is for. The fans are in and everything is looking good, but will it turn on? Moment of truth. My girl brought me some crunch wraps. I would say this is a success. The crunch wraps, the PC. We can change the fan lighting to any color we want. For under $150, I don't think you can beat this. If this is all you have allocated to your budget for a PC, this is the route to go. But if not, I would say build your own computer from scratch with better parts. But now, next time you hop on for a gaming session, you'll have this beautiful PC right by your side. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and sub.